Hi everyone! I found this really beautiful fabric in Liberty last year and decided I wanted to make something out of it. For a while I'd been thinking that I wanted to make something like a chemise à la reine, so I decided this would be a good fabric to use. For this type of dress you need lots of cotton tape and ribbon, as this helps make the gathers which create the shape of the dress. To start with, I had to fold the fabric into a rectangle and then pin it to the mannequin. This then allowed me to measure how long I wanted the dress to be and mark it on the fabric so that then I could cut out the fabric pieces that I needed. Once I'd cut both main pieces out, I ended up with two large square-shaped pieces of material, which I then sewed together using French seams to make a large rectangle piece of fabric. With the two pieces attached together, I then hemmed the two raw edges that will be at the front of the dress. I then folded and pinned the fabric back onto the mannequin so I could measure and mark out where I needed to place the cotton tape. The cotton tape is used to create two channels that are about 4 inches apart, and these are used to create the gathers that make the shape of the dress. The process of pinning the cotton tape down is quite a long one because you have to make sure that it stays in exactly the right place, and this requires measuring over and over again. Once pinned down, I neatly had to sew them in place. With the cotton tape attached, it was time to insert the ribbon and then gather the dress at the waist. With the dress back on the mannequin, I then pinned all of these gathers in place around the top of the fabric. Next came pinning where I wanted the neckline to be and cutting out holes for the arms. This was done very roughly at first, but then I took it off the mannequin and cut it out more neatly on the table. Once this was done, I was able to measure how much fabric I needed to cut out to make the supports for the shoulder. These 4 small pieces of fabric needed to be attached to the shoulder before I could attach the sleeve and the collar piece. Because I wasn't really 100% sure how these shoulder supports actually attached, I found this part quite tricky, but I've since found some methods which look quite easy, and if I was to do this type of dress again, I would use them. As with most sewing projects, this required a lot of ironing in between each of the sewing steps. With the main part of the dress almost done, I moved on to the sleeves, which I had to work out the pattern for first, as it's quite a tricky and unusual sleeve pattern for this type of dress. With the sleeves cut out, I then had to attach 2 rows of cotton tape to the inside of both of the sleeves to create the gathers. You may notice that some of the cotton tape is different. This is because I ran out and couldn't find the same size in stock anywhere. The bottom row of the cotton tape was difficult and tricky to attach because it had to curve with the shape of the sleeve. After I had attached the cotton tape, I then inserted the ribbon into the sleeve channels so that they could be gathered, and then I sewed up the side seams of the sleeve to hold these gathers in place. Lastly, with the sleeves, I had to double check which one was right and left, as they have to be a specific way round. Then once I'd done this, I then attached them to the dress and then hemmed the bottom edge. I was then ready to add the collar with its gathered closure. This was a very tricky process, as it was quite a long piece of fabric that I was trying to sew in place, and I had to make sure that I didn't catch any of the gathers and they were all smoothed out while I was sewing the collar in place. I then had the additional lengthy process of hemming the raw edge on the collar. The last piece of cotton tape was then sewed in place and gathered so that the collar would then take its proper shape. With everything else complete, I then hung the dress on my mannequin for a couple of days and then hemmed the bottom. With the dress complete, the last thing that I needed to do was make a sash tie for around the waist of the dress to hold it in place. But unfortunately I didn't get a chance to film it, but I did find this really beautiful black silk to make it from. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was the first time that I've made a dress like this, so I'm really pleased with the outcome, but there are a lot of things that I would do different next time. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!